Welcome back, you who listen to me reading up Wild Card. I'm going today and try to use some background sound and maybe some music. I don't know, but let's see what we can create. Now, yes. Uh, Trick Up My Sleeve, Wild Card by Barrel of Fun. A sharp, intense pain racked my body, forcing me to from my blissful rest with a standing yelp. Ow! What the hell? My eyes flew open. Behold, Zende standing next to me, curious, poking at my right leg with a worried expression on his face. Noticing that he managed to wake me up, he smiled down at me. Ah, I'm bloody well aware. Ah, you are awake. This is good. It's worried me that we might lose you. Yeah, I'm bloody well awake and you the worst alarm clock ever. Why are you jabbing me with those bloody hard hooves? I signing I assessing the damage on your limb. Prior to my incineration, here I was something of a traveling healer, visiting towns and curing ills. I believe the damage on your leg will be easily fixed with some of my potions. That's great. If the old zebra knew his stuff, then I might be back on my feet. I mean, hooves quickly, quicker than I had hoped. Using Zende as a prop, I managed to get up, waving my arms slightly to achieve balance with my currently uneven weight. Where are they? Unfortunately, they are confiscated by the dogs when I was captured. Of course they are. I heavily sighed. Hey, is somewhere around? Behind you, idiot. I whirled around and nearly falling over in the process. It was true. He had be- she had been standing behind me the entire time. All right then, Summer, exactly how strong is your magic? She blushed as if asked her bra size or something. Hell, for all I know, I may very well have done the unicorn equivalent. Oh well, social stigma be damned. I mean, it's strong enough to take out the guard, I clarified. She seemed far more confident with this question. Probably because in involving tactics rather than her personally. I reckon I could get them all if they bunched up, but at a moot point. This damn lock around my head blocks any magic build-up. If I try to gather any energy, the ring will block it and cause me to sap myself. I think I might be able to do something about that, but we need to go where the guards cannot find us, cannot see us. Ah, my tongue. I know a place, Xander spoke up. He indicated to the corner of the cage where the light couldn't fully reach. The darkened corner would be perfect for hiding our activities from the guards. Zende went first, followed by Summer a couple of minutes later. I waited a bit longer for dragging my crippled ass into the darkness. In the shadows we barely could make out each other's faces, but I could still get a vague idea of where everything was. Reaching around my back, I grabbed my hold of my long braid and flipped it over my shoulder and began. I began to burrow around its crippling depths. I wasn't long enough until I find what I was looking for. A small rolled up bundle of cloth that I carefully extracted from my braid. Unrolling in the unrolling it in the floor, I just began to pick up objects to feel along with bringing them before my eyes for inspection. I breathed a sigh of relief. None of the lockpicks had been damaged during the events of the last day. Good. Our escapes pretty much rely entirely upon these small tools. You might be asking yourself why I have lockpicks hidden in my hair. Well, a magician never reveals his secrets, especially the secrets how to he once escaped a tiny iron box that I was submerged in a river. That wasn't even my part of my act. I just annoyed a casino owner who just happened to be a mobster as well. Finding Summer's face in the darkness, I worked my hand upwards until I found her horn and the ring locked upon it. Trying to ignore her stammering protest as such a intimate closeness to her horn, I leaned forward and began to work, picking a lock that I'd never seen before. With this in complete darkness, with this nervous unicorn trembling underneath your hands, isn't the easiest thing in the world that def- definitely, and that was definitely going to take away. I will list. I worked. I struck up a conversation with Zende. Hey, Zende, you've been here a while, right? That's right. They kept me around to assist in the healing of injured pit fighters, which would be most effective if they are allowed me to my tools. Right. So what's the deal with Lord High Fleabag? I mean, he doesn't exactly look like the healthiest doggy in the window. Yes, you noticed that too, eh? Pretty damn hard to miss when he was in the fit. Whenever has a fit whenever a shadow comes near him. Indeed, I theorize that he drinks the consumes with such endless thirst. I have overheard the guard dogs of voicing their concern to each other that they say they drink in a water from a spring deep within the cave, a spring that runs black as pure as night. Redtooth was just a normal dog when he first uh, struck upon the water. After consuming it, he felt stronger, fiercer. Only a few weeks later, he was as you see him now, a giant among dogs. He challenged the old Alpha and defeated him in a single combat, ripping the old dog to bits. The mine under his leadership became a far different place, his bottomless greed forcing the dog to dig further and further down. It was then they began to attack the cavernous routes and capture level of travel the caravan routes and capture travelers under Red Tooth orders. They are beginning to grow steadily more and more daring, even going so far to attack smaller towns in Equestria. So it was that weird drink that gave Redtooth his crazes. Better not to take a swig on that stuff then. Probably terrible for my liver. So the dog weren't always like this? Oh, it's true that diamond dogs have always been very aggressive race, very rough around the edges, but those situated close to the equestrian border tended to be more civilized, even going so far as to trade with ponies. I was silent for a while, contemplating this knowledge. The diamond dogs in the show haven't been very nice, but they had still some semblance of civility. Otherwise, Rarity's whining wouldn't have worked on them. It's pretty hard to guilt trip something that honestly doesn't care about you. We continued this in silence for a while, me working on the lock with Zende observing my nimble fingers and Summer tried to stay still. It was Summer who broke the silence this time, meaning that she lose the quiet game. Fluttershy would be disappointed. Yay. You realize you weren't brought in alone, right? I wasn't? No. She waved a hoof around the parts of the cage. They were slumbering form slept. The occasional rise and fall of that giant barrel chest, the only indication that wasn't out of place boulder. Is that Iron Will? You mean the champion? Yes. Apparently the dog figured he wasn't worth the special lock up after your skinny flank managed to beat him. How'd you do that, by the way? No offense, but you don't exactly like a combat specialist. I got lucky. We suppose just received a snort of disbelief from her. Well, things should get interesting when he wakes up, Summer stated. What do you mean? Well, I mean it should get interesting me when he begins to rip us all to bits in the apocalyptic rage. Interesting is a rather subjective term in such a situation. Um, I'm not so sure. Zende, would you be able to check him out? Look for any signs of forced medication, an injection, or something. The old zebra looked hesitantly at first, but resumed at my confident tone. With a nod, he left the shadows to inspect the slumbering mound. I continued my work on the lock, twisting my pick and testing the lock. Tumblers for the right angle. The lock was surprisingly complicated for such a little thing, and my frustration was growing with each failed attempt. I began to jab in the lock harder, trying to force it open. The pick in my hand slipped out, accidentally sliding down Summer's horn, eliciting eclipsed a gasp from the mare. Idiot! You don't know how sensitive horns are. No. She sighed a pent-up frustration upon the sickly of my naivety. Was it my imagination, or was she blushing? I couldn't make out him properly in darkness. Just how sensitive are unicorn works? Oh goddess, all those fanfics couldn't exactly be right about horns being sexual, could they? How intimate was I being with Summer here? Was I going to have a patient her father for a hoof in marriage? I hope not. I mean, she seemed to be a nice enough mare, although she comes off a little strong. But I really don't think it should be working between us. I mean, she's a magical unicorn, and I'm an interdimensional displaced luck-infused satire. Think of think of the children. I swiftly banished these thoughts from my mind, returned to the pick its correct place. I could just feel the lock beginning to give, ready to yield under my assault and yield to beg for mercy, metaphorically speaking, when Zenday returned. You're correct, Ace. Marks on his back appears he had been injected with something. Any idea what? If I had to take a stab in the dark, I say they gave him some magic pixie dust and then that sent him in the land of sunshine and smile. Really? Of course not. Obviously gave him some rage-inducing serum to make him even more into the monster we saw in the ring. What do you think? Honestly, I thought this was the land of sunshine and smiles, but misconceptions are becoming more apparently by the hour. Did you just... Let me restart. Did you even listen to what I just said? Yes. Yeah, of course I did. I just didn't care. Better question, when do you think it will wear off? Then they sigh, a heavenly sigh, mirroring Summer's sigh from earlier. Damn, it looks... Bah, damn. It looks like everyone's getting a bit exasperated with me. You know that this called for a party! Yeah. I quickly glanced around in case a pink party pony had appeared to bring smiles to the faces in all the prisoners with the help of her party cannon. No such lucks. I guess even Pinkie Pie has her limitation. It was then I realized that Zende had been drowning on about some medical jargon. I turned just in time to catch the gist of his lecture. Due to his massive size, thus the size of his heart, indeed to push blood around his body, I'd say he'd be able to reject whatever chemical they gave him within a couple of hours of the induction of his body. Sweet. So how long were he brought in here? Assuming, of course, that he had been injected him just prior on our fight. Judging him by the guard rotations, as well the growth of fungus in this rock that I found. He proudly displayed a small green covered rock to me. You brought in around a couple of hours ago. Huh, that's lucky. One day I will stop being surprised by these probably defying condensers and just accept the fact that my goddess likes to cheat. With a click that finally surrounded me and fell off Summer's sword, she practically squealed with joy over her liberty from the magic uh, by the blocking device. I had put out a hand to prevent her from rushing out of the cloaked shadows. Hey, hold your horses there, Summer. If those guards see you without this little bit of hornbling, they undoubtedly try to pimp you up again. Better stay hidden until I can get the guards together for your blast. She hesitantly remained still, wanting to go and blast the dogs right away. But she eventually submitted to my superior logic. I twirled the magic blocking ring around my finger before concealing it. And my lockpicks back in my hair. Already then, you two stay put. I'm going to have a talk to the bull about some dogs. Yeah, that was fun. And I didn't need those soundtracks for background, but they eventually come forward from some chapters. And see you the next chapter. Zulu reading here. Peace out.